I live in Las Vegas on the West Coast. So whenever there's early start games, I always use the moniker, wake up and win. Let's talk wake up and win action for the start of the NBA playoffs on Saturday in this daily double video powered by WagerTalk. I'm going to talk about the Cavs and the Raptors in the very first game of the morning here in Vegas, afternoon for you guys back east, and the next game as well, Minnesota and Denver, two fascinating matchups to open the NBA postseason for Saturday, the 18th of April. My name, Ted Savransky. They call me Teddy Covers. This video powered by WagerTalk.com. And of course, let's start by looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen. Take a look at what the numbers are for the early game on Saturday, Toronto and Cleveland. I'm seeing 8s. There are 8.5s popping up for the Cavs over the Raptors. The early money has come for the home favorite against the road underdog. And it's easy to understand why. Total in that game, by the way, sitting 219.5/220. Toronto has spent the entire season beating up the weak and struggling against the strong. And that was basically the essence of the 2025-26 campaign for Darko squad. They were really good against bad teams and pretty bad against good teams. And that dichotomy played out, whether you're talking about they were bad dogs and good favorites, they were good laying points at home, and they were bad catching points on the highway. I mean, all the different stats, ATS stats that you could see for Toronto certainly showed that mentality. And like the Raptors are postseason virgins. They've been around in the playoffs in recent seasons. And it's not like Toronto has consistently been bad stepping up in class. This year, that was a significant problem for them. But the question is Cleveland a real step up in class? You know, a lot of times we talk about the postseason, and it's easy to make a case for the Cavs here. You know, the Cavs are the class of these two teams when it comes to what they're expected to do. They have the more postseason experience, most postseason success. They're built to win now. They made win now moves in season with the addition of James Harden in the Darius Garland trade. So there's a lot of thought for Cleveland. Yeah, this team may well be bet on come the postseason, but I haven't seen any of it yet. I really haven't. The Cleveland Cavaliers are by far the worst ATS home favorite in the postseason. They were under 40% full season in this role, laying points at home to teams that they're better than. When you talk about Cleveland laying points on any floor, anywhere, 24-42 ATS. This team didn't just burn their backers, they buried their backers all year long in this favorites role. So I understand the start of the postseason, there's a lot of love for Cleveland. And there's thought process that, all they have to do is just flip the switch. Flip the switch. Have they played together enough to flip the switch? You know, this is a team that dealt with injuries throughout the back half of the season after they got Harden in terms of their starting unit and their core unit. Precious little floor time together. Cleveland has great depth, but postseason depth is something that matters as series progress more than it matters in game one. Make a case that Cleveland can blow them out here. I understand there are many bettors that will. I will not make that case here. I do not trust the Cavs as chalk. Not like I love this Raptors team, but the fact that Toronto had success in Cleveland in the regular season, the fact that Toronto has been in the postseason with many of these same guys, I think it's going to be a game. I call battle, not blowout, for the Cavs and the Raptors. And if I'm doing anything in game one, I will be taking the points. And there's no urgency here. Again, this line opened 7. There were 7.5. Now we're seeing 8, 8.5. How high is it going to go before tip-off? I don't know. But if I'm going to play this game at some point before tip-off, I will look to the Toronto side. Before I talk about Minnesota and Denver, I do want to let you know about what's going on right now at WagerTalk.com. I've done well in each of the last 4 NBA playoffs to the tune of 58%, counting every play every day, plus 86 units of profit, I think it is. And that's even after having a crappy week this week. So The NBA playoffs have been good for my clients and I long term. We've gone on some monster runs. I'm expecting a good postseason this year. I really am. Don't buy a play. Get on board with a postseason package. Get every play every day for the rest of the playoffs. Better than that, get every play every day in every sport from now until the end of August. Great deals, value-laden deals on my page, wt.buzz/TC, if you'd like to get on board with my premium selections for the postseason. I also want to ask you guys one simple favor. If you like these videos, hit the like button. Thank you. That's all I ask. Comment below. Tell us what you think. Subscribe to WagerTalk TV on YouTube. We've got 250,000 subscribers now. But the like, the comment, the follow make all the difference. Thank you. We appreciate it very, very much. In general, I want to lay points in round one, game one. I made a case for the dog in the Toronto-Cleveland game. And guess what? I'm going to make a case for the dog in Minnesota and Denver as well, which tells you where the client plays are going to be this week. There'll be some chalk out there, but not in these two ball games. And Minnesota-Denver, again, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen, 6.5, the prevailing number for the Nuggets. Total sitting 231.5. We've seen some over money there, and I wouldn't argue with the over in this ball game either. Even though, again, game one, I'm looking to bet unders and favorites. And here I'm like, oh yeah, you can make a case for the over. I'm not going to make a case for the over here. I wouldn't argue with it because I think the game's going to be played fast, and I don't believe in Denver's defense. That's what this is all about. All right, Denver 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 tries at -3 or higher. They're just not covering numbers as chalk. Why not? Because they're not playing championship level defense. And when you don't play defense and you don't get stops in the fourth quarter, you don't get stops during crunch time, you don't cover spreads as chalk. Minnesota has been the better of these two teams defensively since the All-Star break, even with the injuries that they have suffered. Denver has been dismal laying points in any, whether it's home or road. They've not been a good favorite. And Anthony Edwards is single. So Joker, Edwards, you make an argument who's the best player on the floor. But Edwards is the one where the Denver does not have a defensive answer to. Joker's going to be, Gobert's going to be on him. And Denver and Minnesota's low post defense has been there. Joker has not eaten them alive. He's going to have to pass. And we would look to maybe Joker assists over the total or something that I would look for in this series in general. But game one wise, I think Anthony Edwards has the opportunity to really have success. And the last time these two teams played, it was the only time that Minnesota was able to beat Denver. The Nuggets really tried to get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. They started double teaming him they picked him up right at half court and tried to get the ball out of his hand, and Edwards did what he does. He got the ball to his teammates. His teammates hit shots. That's what'll happen for Denver. Chris Finch, if they're gonna pick him up and pressure, we just need him to make the easy play to the right guy and trust the open man to make the same decision. Of course, questions about Edwards' health, the reports from practice. I'm recording this on Friday. He's been in practice all week. He's been fine. So, don't know if Edwards is going to hold up through this series. But for game one, I put him at 100% or close to it. And I think it's a good matchup for him against Denver. So put it all together. Again, game one, round one, I like to play overs. I like to play unders, and I like to play favorites. And here I'm giving you a recommendation for a pair of dogs for what it's worth. I do think Toronto can hang against Cleveland, and I think Minnesota is live against Denver. So a pair of big game breakdowns on this daily double video. We'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm only going to have one free play, but I am going to break down the Spurs and the Blazers late night action on Sunday. So check that out right here on this page. And stay tuned right here on this channel for more quality video content from WagerTalk TV. Good luck. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a great weekend. Cheers.